Welcome back to From Nine to Mom.
where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos that we call motherhood.
And it's a very special episode today. You can hear that clicker of flames coming. It is our 1-year anniversary of this podcast.
Yes. And I think it's kind of like our birthday. I know it's our anniversary, but I felt like we needed a candle. If you guys are watching this at home, I have a scented candle and a duck donut. And, I was going to come on with a crown and everything and sing happy birthday, but I'm not.
She knows I would hate it.
So I'm just going to have us blow out this candle together and say happy birthday to ourselves. You ready? On the count of 3.
Happy birthday.
2, 3. There it is. Happy birthday. Amazing. Happy anniversary.
I know. It's kind of weird that it's been a year of us doing this for, ourselves, for, the few people that we've got listening. And we have to call out the OGs that have listened since the very first episode.
I know. I think we're talking, there's some people who literally have commented, shared every single thing.
Yeah.
I know Jenna, Leah, Taylor, Heather, Michelle. I'm trying to think of other people who are always Nicole. I feel like I hope we don't not forgetting anybody, but we started the shit you can't make up, and we were getting all the stories from everybody. That was our first engagement.
We loved it.
And I just think about that. We started this as not a joke, but we've talked about this on the podcast before. We didn't know what to talk about on a podcast. What do we talk about all the time anyways? And we're being working moms, the struggle, the hustle, all of it together. And it just became our weekly therapy. And here we are 1 year later. And guys, we have to share with you. So Katie and I, when we realized it was our 1 year anniversary, kind of last minute, not going to lie, we were we need to do something special. We need to plan something together. So Katie bought a ticket here to Charlotte.
Yep.
And we got a photographer to do a mini photo shoot, but it was the perfect storm. It is the perfect working mom weekend day. It felt like a year. So I think we need to share with them from the before you left to when you left, the things that happened, because this is the shit you can't make up on Katie and Danielle's life.
It was literally a 48-hour trip that felt like 2 weeks. But everything was telling us to not do this, or we were just climbing uphill the entire time. We didn't even know if I was going to make it, because some people know, but I don't think I've talked about it yet on the podcast, but I have 2 herniated discs in my back. And that's been it's been the whole month of September, basically, that I've been immobile, acting like a grandma. And I finally got a steroid shot last week because it was unbearable, but we didn't know how I was going to react to that, if I was going to be able to sit on an airplane for the hour and 15 minutes.
So we're trying to figure out, should we be canceling it? Should you come? She's the doctor said it's fine. I'm going to make it.
I'm going to be able to come. So I got through the weekend, get on the plane, get there. And I feel from the second I landed, the Henderson house was chaos.
It was absolute chaos. Katie, you got in, and then I don't even remember what started with what. Oh, my kids didn't feel great over the weekend, but they were feeling a little better. And so we figured everything was fine there. The day you got in, we ended up doing a lot of work for our actual jobs. So we were let's spend this day getting a lot of work done out of the way so we can enjoy tomorrow.
Yep.
We went and we picked out outfits, and we were all excited about it, feeling confident, oh, this looks cute. Oh, you look amazing. We were really feeling ourselves for this photo shoot, right? So it started okay. But then we're okay, we'll just record tomorrow, or we'll do this tomorrow, because Katie was dizzy from some of the meds that she was taking. And we didn't want her back. Old lady Katie, we didn't want her back to blow out during the photo shoot. So then it was, I can't remember. Oh, daycare was sick. My mom wasn't feeling well.
Right. Yeah. And that was Monday afternoon. We stayed home all Monday afternoon to wait that storm out of everyone not feeling good. And then we did make it out to dinner Monday night. We picked up dinner to go.
And it was great. We had espresso martinis. It was fantastic. But remember when we left, it was mental breakdown chaos when we left the house, I think, on Monday.
Yes.
And that was special. And then Daisy didn't want to sleep, which is not surprising at all. Poor Katie had to watch Beetlejuice 800 times. Then we noticed, Daisy came home with dots. So we weren't sure if she like had a rash, whatever it was. So the next morning we're getting ready for this photo shoot. And doesn't matter how confident you feel in whatever. I was also looking for some affirmations from someone else that I didn't get them from that I usually do. So I was feeling like a little bit self-conscious already.
Yeah.
To be honest. And the kids were up during the night. Daisy, like I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Daycare was sick.
We were rushing.
It ended up being pretty crazy morning.
Yeah, you were trying to get everyone out of the house. We were like, there's no way we can't leave before 10. It's like 10:15. We're just leaving the house. And
I'm sweating. I don't like how I look. Like Katie's looking beautiful. I'm not going to lie, Katie. You look great. Katie but it's probably still very stressful for you because I'm stressing out and running around. Katie's feeding my kids. Like she's trying to help me. She's ironing my shirts for me because I'm running around. I tried to put in this I always have had fake hair. I think I've talked about this a million times.
Yes.
And my hair is a huge part of my identity. And I've had to take it out for multiple reasons. Time, I also have psoriasis if anybody else has this in their head. So like I can't have it. So I bought that fake halo. I thought it looked really good, but then it was so sweaty and I'm like,
it was
panicking.
So hot.
I get a phone call from Daisy's school. I've never gotten a phone call from them before that Daisy isn't feeling well and they want to send her home. They'd feel more comfortable if she just came home and took a rest to see how she felt the next day. So I have to call my mom to go pick her up. My mom's not feeling it, but she does it anyway. Thank you, Mom.
Yep.
She goes and she grabs her, but now I'm even more
stressed
anxious
because that wasn't
stressed.
the plan. Yep.
Nope, no plan. We get to where we're supposed to take pictures. It's super cute. It's a great diner. We walk in. The photographer walks in. They're like, we don't allow pictures here. So immediately Katie and I are like, look at each other. Like,
of course they don't. Of course they don't. We're going to just turn right around. And luckily our photographer, shout out Danny, she had a plan B ready to go. It ended up being,
she showed no stress.
She was not. Yeah. I don't think we did either, but we were just like, of course. And then it ended up working out for the better where we were. So we made it through the photo shoot. And it was a lot of fun. And we can't wait to show everybody all the pics because we don't ever do anything like that, I feel like.
Yes. And I think that was the thing, like the build up to it and getting nervous about it. And then I kept apologizing to Katie because I felt like my nerves were rubbing off. But at the end of the day, it was so fun. The photographer was fantastic to work with. She totally understood what we were trying to accomplish and what we wanted to do. And she had such good ideas.
Yeah, if anyone's in the Charlotte area, we'll have her tagged all over our Instagram. So check her out and give her a follow for sure. But she was like perfect for what we needed with like go with the flow, but giving us some direction. And it was just weird because like we both kept talking about the last time we did photos like this were like wedding engagement session.
Yeah,
like,
or family photos.
And it was like for both of us, it's in the past, like times have changed since we got photos done for any of that. Like we weren't doing the like poses in the I think you had made that joke of like the poses in the field of like the serious faces. We were like prom posing for all of our wedding pictures.
Yes.
And so this was like a little out of our comfort zone, but it kind of makes us feel like we've made it. This podcast is going to stick. We're going to keep going and trying to grow
investment in ourselves,
the community. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest like takeaway from that part of it was truly when we were saying like, do we do this? Do we like, should we be doing this? But we want to do this and we want to keep going and investing in this. So it was an investment in ourselves. And I think that was really cool. But we get done with this. We drank a couple drinks. So we were feeling pretty good by the end of it. But we ended up really having there's a lot of things we're not saying because it was just like, as moms, it's inconsequential. This one's sick. This one forgot their binder at school.
It's,
so-and-so has to take a meeting. So we get home. We have this great dinner planned. We're super excited about it. Chaos hits. We don't care. I think we left the house with 2 screaming children. Like I think we left.
I did feel really bad for Jordan. We were leaving him we're just like, okay, bye. Sometimes you have to do that because you can't help.
We were trying to record. Remember, we were trying to record, but the kids were both home at that point. So we were like, this is not happening. So
then we're going out.
Yeah, then we're going out. Bye. So, I lost a brand new sweater in the extravaganza that we were going to wear and take other photos. We were like, screw it. We're not doing anything else. We're going to go celebrate and enjoy ourselves. And we truly did. We had some of the best drinks ever and some of the best food ever. Yep. So if you're in the Charlotte area, the Epic Chop Steakhouse? I can't remember.
Chop House.
Kingsley, it was delicious.
So good. So good.
Delicious. So we had a lot of drinks there and we ended up having a fantastic evening. But, I forgot, Katie, the water turned off. The water turned off at 5 p.m. That's why it was so chaotic.
Yes, literally right. Yeah, I'm in Danielle's house. Like 5:15 rolls around. I think you were gonna go put dishes in the dishwasher.
Just yes, like I was going to load the dishwasher.
You made Daisy some mac and cheese and that, and all of a sudden we're like, the water's not working.
So I called Jordan. I'm like, Jordan, did you forget to pay the bill? He's like, it's on my desk. It was only a couple days ago. They don't turn off your water unless you forgot to pay the bill for like 3 months. Sorry, Jordan. This is too funny not to share. We're sitting there. I have guests over. There's craziness ensuing in my house. And I look at Katie and our water is turned off. So Katie stayed in my home. We couldn't use the bathroom. She couldn't shower. I ordered $45 worth of water. And
the best.
We drank champagne instead of water. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I bought the bottled water. And Katie, you were such a good sport. You just laughed it off and like went with the flow.
Dumping water in the toilets
to flush it.
Funny. Like literally that's shit you can't make up.
No.
But it happens, I guess.
It happens. Does it happen? If you've ever had your water, the truth is like, does your husband pay the bills? And if he does, good for you. If he doesn't, and the only bill they're responsible for gets turned off, you got to take all the bills over.
Or is it you or your husband? Because I know that there's probably some of us that like aren't in charge of it. And if you are in charge, have you forgotten to pay something and a utility is shut off because you forgot? Because that's most of the time what ends up happening. It ends up not, I mean, I hope for everyone's sake, it's not typically like that you don't like you're not paying it because you don't have the money. It's just that you miss the bill because they make half the utilities. They don't let you pay auto pay.
Yeah, so he was like off auto pay. You have to go into Fort Mill to add somebody to the account. So he just messed up. Okay. Then the next morning we had a call with our new financial advisor, and she asked us you guys know our financial advisor. She asked us, what roles do you guys play in the household? And my husband literally was like, well, just to give you a little picture, our water turned off. It's the only bill I'm responsible for. He's like, so I don't think I'm involved.
I should be on this call.
I don't think I should be on this call anymore. So it was so funny. But Katie, you were a trooper dealing with that. And then the next day was hilarious because it was just us sending crap back and forth about me running to the river to get water and the luxuries of airport living because you could actually flush your toilet.
And I'm like, thank God I could get here, wash my hands and go to the bathroom before I get on my flight. And yeah, it just put the cherry on the top, for the trip, because it wouldn't be a trip if we didn't have the chaos that's there. And to add to it, you have both kids now home the rest of the week because the hurricane, so the school is shutting down for that. Then Daisy's with the sickness and all that, like they're wanting her to stay home. Like it's just like now you have them all week.
You can't, and then tomorrow's my first day of e-learning, which I got this little packet. So if you
you love that now? Like they can just decide like, e-learning.
8 to 9. Okay, they have to be on at 7:45. It's from 8 to 9. This is not the teacher's fault. They're wonderful. But like, what if you worked from like 7 till whatever and you couldn't be there to sit with your kids
or like
to do
your
e-learning?
Business isn't closed because of the hurricane.
Yeah,
like, what if you're like, like you just are supposed to
get your computer ready. They need to know how to mute and unmute themselves. I actually think this is going to be hilarious tomorrow watching a bunch of kindergartners.
It's going to be a flashback of like COVID learning.
I didn't know. You did because of Ryan. This will be hilarious. I'm going to get a little bit of a whatever. But yeah, so Katie leaves. I'm like, we got so much to catch up on. We're going to do all this stuff. We're so motivated, excited. And I both get home for the rest of the week. Katie's, back is better, but not great.
I'm still an old lady. Yeah.
I kept having to look at her and be like, are you okay? I felt like, are you okay? Do we need to sit down? Do I need to get you a pillow? It was like
you had to like bring my suitcase up and down the stairs, put it in the car for me.
That is true. So we took care of each other. And I think that it was we were already obviously close to be doing this podcast, working together, like doing business together.
Yeah.
But this was a new level of closeness, I think, I feel, for us. And I personally saw growth in like both of us in terms of like certain things. Like before, you know, the first time we traveled together, Katie had like wipes and was wiping down all the airplane seats and like was stressed about like being on the plane. Like when we get there, what do we do? You were so calm, cool, collected. Like you got on, like, I feel like that was good. And, you know, we kind of were way more go with the flow, I think, than we both of us usually are.
But I feel like that's like part of what comes with motherhood is like you just can only control so many things. You start letting some things go because you're like, otherwise, how can you keep like, how do you keep it going if you have to worry about it all the time? Not that we don't worry, but it's just like you can
but you're
control so many things.
Yeah, and you just got to pick what you can control, and we were there to have it. And at the end of the day, even though it didn't go exactly how we planned and all that stuff happened, we had a great time, and we are super excited. And I think that like we got time to reminisce on some of our favorite moments, our highlights, and you know, we talked a lot about that.
We got to share some. So we have to go all the way back to the first episode, and I have some of them up on my phone. So our very first episode was called Birthday Pressure. And it kind of, us talking about it brought up like, all right, why did we start it? And the whole podcast was around Jack's second birthday and like feeling the pressure to like do elaborate parties with like buying the balloon arches and like all the stuff. And like, usually it comes with the first birthday, but I feel like it's just gone to every birthday now. You feel like you have to
outdo the last one.
And it's funny to like look at it now because
like year later.
I felt like that. And like this year for Jack's birthday, we had pizza. I didn't even get like real dessert. And I got him like a little cupcake and little Spidey, like I pre-ordered some Spidey stuff from Amazon, but like I maybe spent $30 on decorations.
And he loved it. You guys had the best
time. He had the best time. So it really just showed like, it's funny how like that's what was
a year makes such a difference. Or you're the person who swears that they're never going to get the rock. Like if you guys remember me saying that, like people go crazy and they rent this rock out. Did I rent the rock for Colton this year? I sure did. Did I tell everyone else? I was the first one to realize that the rocks were for rent. I told everyone in my neighborhood, like posted, like the rocks are ready. I looked like an absolute psycho. But now I'm not paying for someone to paint this rock. It's only $25. Now I have to paint this rock for Colton's birthday, you guys. If anyone's an artist and wants to come help me paint this rock, he has a lot of specific desires, like Pokemon, Minecraft, some Cuddle Colt Pokemon he created. So if anyone wants to help me with that, but I said I wouldn't do it, and now I did it. So even like going like,
great.
Now that I'm in school, I want him to feel included.
So you're going to do it.
It's different. Yeah. It's funny.
It is funny. It is like where we were a year ago for that. And we were doing the episode because that was something we wanted to talk about. And like, we were like, I wish somebody would talk us off doing the elaborate this and that and the other. And
so we're here to talk you off of it. The kids don't
care. Right? Talk you about what matters.
Do the fun stuff. What matters is having booze for the adults.
Yep.
Fun stuff for the kids. Doesn't matter how much money you spend, how drastic, so you can get. If you do the great parties, good for you. I love the pictures. Keep it going. I love seeing it. But if
my kid wants to come, I want to be there.
Yeah, well, I want to be invited. Good for you. Don't stop, because we live vicariously through you guys.
Yes.
But you don't have to do that for the party to be a success or for you to have a good time.
Right.
And I think it's funny, like looking back at that to where we are now, we're celebrating our birthday, but that was kind of nuts that was our first.
I know. Episode. Do you know what our second episode was?
No.
It was called Snip Snap.
Snip, snap, and now they're both snapped.
They're both snipped and snapped.
They successfully made it through.
Oh, man. Funny, though. That was, that was us recapping Jordan's, and now we didn't dedicate a whole episode to Ryan's, so I feel bad, but he didn't give us enough content.
Yeah, Ryan, you kind of sucked because you're trying to be strong, so we wouldn't talk about you on the podcast. But good for you, man.
And then, so we do have to talk about our top podcasts. So like, which ones do our people like? And I'm going to pull the most recent stats here so that we can go off that. And we're going to be excited.
We are. Okay. Yeah, it happened.
It happened. So everyone, anyone that Ryan talks to about our podcast, he came on. We had an episode called Daddy Daycare where Ryan came on right at the end of last school year and was talking about what he was going to do all summer with the kids. And he was our top performing podcast for so long and didn't let us forget it and mentioned it to everybody he knew. But within this last week, he has officially been dethroned.
Sorry, Ryan. Is the top Taylor?
It is. So
all right.
Shout out to Taylor. You're our top. I got to text her and tell her, but she's an OG that's been listening and giving a very good content adder to this podcast.
Yes,
sure.
She's open, honest.
So
our breastfeeding episode.
Yeah, if you haven't heard that one is hilarious and we love her. So it is very, very close. So I'm sure Ryan will spin up some more, fake accounts to get his back up on top.
To the top. That's okay. Go for it.
Yeah, so that was that. And, we've started having guests on, which has been really cool to like start bringing some professionals of industry.
Yeah, actually, when we were what's it called? The photo shoot. She was actually like, I just listened to your one podcast where you were talking about the unsolicited financial advice you gave, and then you had an expert come on. I was like, yeah, Katie and I like to give that unsolicited advice, but eventually you got to bring an expert on.
You got to bring an expert. So that's been great to bring on like fellow moms that are experts in different areas to like bring some new ways of thinking and help us get better organized or better thought processes on things, because there's so many of us that just have different experiences and things to bring to the table. And I think that's our big goal here, is just to always be sharing stories, and that not always the best advice, let's admit, but we want to make sure that people don't feel alone out there. We're all feeling the same things, and we just,
and that's what you said when you left, Katie. Like you and your sister had that conversation. Like we're not alone. Yeah. Like seeing somebody else in the life and being in it. We all have such different situations, but a similar collective experience as mothers, and especially as working mothers. That connection that we have it rings true, and it's not always about who has the best advice. It's who has the most honest advice. Even though Katie and I want the best advice, give it to us. But I think that when we first started this podcast, sometimes you forget like the goal back then. Obviously we were trying this for work, but when we decided to make it real, we did the rebrand. That was a big time for us, the big rebrand. That's when we really decided we're going to go all in. And we really started this with the intention of, Katie and I have provided a safe space for each other to be able to talk about being working moms without judgment or giving advice in a way that does not feel supportive. We've used our networks that we have to help support our friends. Do you have anybody, like, I remember the first time you gave me Kate's number to talk to her about pumping, or, I'm calling you and saying, I'm not organized. My friend and I want this system. Can you make this sheet for me so that I can do meal prep? And now I make lunch every single day for Colton. And I think that the goal there was just continuing to be a trustworthy, honest, transparent place for moms to come and to start talking. And I think that's really our goal still, is to build that community out even further so that nobody ever feels alone. We really want people to start. We already have this, but our goals over the next year, I know we sat there and said, like, what do we want for the next year? Like, what milestones, things. And I want more engagement in terms of, we have great engagement with our listeners, but I want to continue to grow the space so that everybody feels comfortable coming here. Like, oh, you had that issue, comment on this. They'll do it. Like, they'll call somebody up and figure something out. I want people to feel comfortable coming to us and knowing that there is a no judgment zone here at all.
Yeah. And I think we joked about, because we're part of a mom group text thread, and like, we want this podcast, social media space, whatever it is, to kind of be like that group text for people, because not everyone has a group text of 25 moms that all can give advice, or might not feel comfortable texting about certain things, or, whatever that may be. And just being able to get advice from a big network of moms that range every which way.
Age, location, how many kids, age of kids, marital status. There's so much going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's, we just want to keep growing that network. And it's funny you say it like that, like locations, ages of kids, and that, like, I've had people, I know, right? But I've had
AOL
people
profile.
like kind of say like, oh, you and Danielle like are so similar. And then I have people being like, you guys couldn't be more different. And like, it's funny how people say that, because I think me and you feel that all the time, where it's like, we do get along so well, but we have different opinions about stuff. We do things different for our kids. We have similar morals and,
Yes.
things like that. And we had similar upbringings, which is really funny. I feel like we always are diving into like how we were brought up, and that's always so funny. And then it's like, it's, you can't all be the same parents, but we both bring some different views on things. And it's good to be friends with moms that do things different, like you have to be, when things don't work for you this way, like,
because you can rely on their strengths. And I agree. We say this all the time. We're so similar, but so different. I do think our background, we were joking this weekend, or it's not weekend. I keep saying it was the weekend. It was Monday, Tuesday.
It was like a month and a half over the 2 days.
We were talking about, were you allowed to order pop or soda at dinner?
Yep.
And Katie and I we grew up very similar. And we're talking about my husband, who's like, going out to dinner. I only went out to dinner on my birthday and it was water. Like, that's it. Right. And we were joking about that. So I think that when you start talking to people more deeply too, you realize where those different value sets and maybe habits came from.
Yes.
And I think moms say all the time, my mom says this all the time as well, you're either replicating something you loved that your parents did, or you're trying to do the exact opposite because it was something you didn't like. And it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It's just we all are growing and learning. Right. And some people, I have a great relationship with both my parents. There's a lot I liked, but there's a lot that I've done different too. And I think that speaking to all different walks of life and different types of people brings just so much diversity and opportunity to have more open conversations. But it's definitely been a year-long journey. We've gotten love. We've gotten hate. I was very excited about our first, it's not a hate comment, but I was really excited when we got our first.
I couldn't bring it up. I can't find it now either.
It's gone.
We have just so many notifications. We're so popular.
We're so popular. We're kidding,
but
you guys.
Somebody had put, there's been a couple, like, not hate. They're not hate comments.
They're not hate at all.
We're challenging that they are. I know one of them was on, because I think one of our favorite quotes from a podcast was from Taylor's episode about breastfeeding, when she was, if you can find your baby, you can feed your baby. And we did get a couple comments on TikTok about like, you're not supposed to do that. And like, you're not supposed to even have a drop of alcohol and breastfeed. And there's some strong opinions, which is fine. And that's what we are welcoming to this podcast, because everyone's going to have their opinion and ways that work for them.
And maybe you know something I don't. Maybe you have some data I don't. I'm not a doctor. Right. Give it to us. Share it with us. Tell us what's up. It's fine. We love that.
And so that, and then the very first one we got was, I don't even remember what it was, but we got a hate. It was.
I remember texting Katie and being like, "We got a hate comment." I'm so excited.
I'm gonna definitely try to find it in our text while we're
chatting. While we're talking. I'm also eating my donut. For those of you watching, I apologize, but I sang to myself in my head.
Perfect.
I also think one of my personal goals that Katie has about 4,000 texts about is I want to get balloons for a milestone. So you guys have to help me hit some milestones. I'll put some out there.
When is it appropriate for a brand to get balloons for their follower count is the real question.
Yeah, maybe someone can give us the number. Katie and I have different opinions about what is balloon worthy, talking about different styles, and I want them right now. So if you give us a good number, we're going to try and hit it so that I can get balloons and do one of those like videos with champagne.
And I think that's a perfect thing to like ask is like, we've had people that ask like, what's the best way to support the podcast? And it's to listen, obviously, to our episodes, but make sure that you're following us on all of our platforms because you want us everywhere you look.
Mm-hmm.
So making sure, you subscribe on wherever you listen to the podcast, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're everywhere.
Yeah, we've made ourselves everywhere, and now we're going to have a brand. We have brand photos that are coming your way, so we're going to be even more everywhere. We apologize in advance, but we're going to make the most of that situation. It was a journey to get there and a journey to make it happen. But Yeah, supporting us. That's definitely the best way to support us and to just engage with us. Give us your thoughts, your topics. This year, we want to cover even more stuff that you guys are interested in. A lot of the great guests we got and a lot of the topics we covered came from our mom chats or somebody asking a question. So we want to continue to build that out for you guys. So any thoughts you have, we definitely welcome your requests. We're taking requests now. This is TRL. Total Request Live. What are going to be the top 10? Does that make you feel old? Because there's a lot of TikToks about that right now.
I love that. But we do need some input. We want to know what other people are going through. We obviously have our things and we'll continue to share that. But, some of the things we definitely are looking for are some moms with some older kids that hopefully have stumbled across us and maybe have some advice or can prepare us for what's to come.
Yes.
With the older ones for sure.
School.
And I just thought of this when we were during our photo shoot. Everywhere we kept going, there was like a working
oh
dad.
Yes.
There was dads that were there and
a working
like,
dad.
Oh, what do you get? What podcast is it? Like, what are you doing? Because we were obviously looked like we were famous, like being in all these places, getting our photos done. And both of the bartenders that we that were talking to us are fathers of 4 kids.
Yep.
And the first guy, we asked them both for advice. And the first guy, he gave the advice. Do you remember exactly what it was?
It was something regarding learn not to give a crap, we'll say. It was something along those lines. Like you just need to learn.
Or don't give a shit about anything.
Don't give a shit about anything.
Like
that was it.
Yeah. And we just died laughing. We were like, you're right.
That's fair. That's how we feel. That's life. True. Don't give a shit about anything. Just do your best.
It is. And I think it
was really cool to see dads supporting us. They were so interested in what we were doing. Cool about it. Yeah. And then they took our cards for their wives. Do you remember? They took our cards for their wives. And we did run into a female who was asking the bar that one of the bars we went to wasn't open yet, but we wanted to drink. So we fake drank espresso martinis. You'll see a picture. It's not real. We did get real ones later. Yeah. But the fake ones, they helped us get some stuff together. And she's like, I'm a working mom. This is so cool. Anything you need, I will help you. And just the support and seeing the hustle and bustle of people out there and just interested in what we're doing was really, really fun. But we appreciate all of you for being on this ride with us. And we did a lot of cheersing this week. So cheers to 1 year, whether it's our birthday, anniversary, I don't care. I'm proud of us. And I think I know it's awkward. That's like what I want to leave on is sometimes it's awkward to be proud of yourself in public, that there's things we do in our lives. We feel like we have so much that we have to do for everybody else. And we're doing things and trying to make other people feel great all the time, that as a mom, sometimes it feels weird to say like, I'm proud of us, Katie. I'm like, I can say I'm proud of you. You look beautiful. I'm proud of you. You're doing amazing. But I'm proud of both of us. I'm proud of all of us, but I'm proud of myself too. And I think it's okay to be proud of something that you're doing that's a passion project that you're excited about. So I hope that in us doing this as well, that there's a lot of you out there that we've talked to that are doing really crazy, amazing things. Like be proud of what you're doing and make sure you do things for yourself to make you recognize what you've accomplished and look back. Something like this gives us that opportunity. We have physical proof and evidence of what's been going on in our lives, good or bad. But we've had a lot go on and we've made it through all of it and had a lot of fun. So I'm definitely proud, but I'm also looking forward to even more cool stuff in the future.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot stewing up and we're so happy that you all have been along for the ride so far. But I think with that, it is time for us to clock out.
And clock back in to the 9 to 5.
We'll see you guys next time.